Some of the biggest markets on Shopify are the ones that a lot of people can partake in. And that may sound obvious to a lot of you, but to some people it's not. However, in today's video, we're going to dive deep into one of these markets. It's a $4.6 billion market. And I found a Shopify store that perfectly exemplifies the power of this market. And actually, they're doing some absolutely genius things that I'm so happy I found. And I'm so happy I get to share with all of you. So we're going to dive into the website, some of their conversion rate optimization things on there. We're going to dive into their ads, into the genius thing that they're doing. And I'm going to show you a couple other things, a couple bonus trends that you can dive into within this niche in order to capitalize on the massive boom behind it. So without further ado, the store that I'm talking about is called Honeylove. And Honeylove specifically is a shapewear store. Now, they do about $20 million a year. They've raised a decent amount of funding, actually, funny enough. And now they're in this market category. They always were. But this market category is expected to grow at 7.5% to almost $9 billion. Personally, I think this is inaccurate. I would guess this is a much bigger category. However, right now it's estimated at $4.61 billion for 2025. Now, the reason I mentioned the market size in these videos is because what's crazy about this is that even just capturing 1% of that market, which Honeylove is doing pretty much, gives you a $40 million a year business. Like, that is massive. So we're going to dive deep into it. The first thing that we can notice about Honeylove is that they keep things very simple. It's actually super minimal. And I love to see that they have a lot of things on the site, but also nothing that doesn't need to be there. So here's a perfect example of, how they're differentiating. This is actually really good. If you can think of differentiators for your brand, that's always a plus. At my agency, that's one of my companies, which I love because I get to see so many incredible brands and how they operate, even 9-figure brands that we work with. This is one of the biggest things that actually helps them is just having simple differentiators and then diving very deep into those in your marketing. So as you see right here, this is one of their best selling products is this like X support thing. And as you see, this is sort of what the competitors look like. Now, if we dive a little bit deeper, they use a lot of UGC creators. Once I show you their ads, you're going to be like, dang, that's crazy. They are running so many ads. And let's see, so $89. This is the other cool thing about this brand is because they have this differentiator, because they have this really strong brand image, they can charge premiums, right? Like $89 for shapewear is actually quite on the, a high side. I've worked with shapewear brands before, actually, and they tend to charge between $30 and $40 for these things. But what this allows them to do is also not only create this like really luxurious premium vibe, because I will say people do attribute a higher price to a better quality, but they can also create better offers, right? Because they have more margin to play with. I actually really like this page, to be honest. It's just like a page on their Super Short, which is one of their best-selling products. It's not your traditional lander, which sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But let's take a look at the bestsellers. I love looking at bestseller tabs because that just tells us what the literal bestsellers are in a store, and I'm not surprised to see this is one of them. So this is their traditional landing page. And as you see, it's just really nice product images. You can really see the texture on these. And then it's just customer reviews. That's all it is. I actually really like that. Keeping it extremely simple with a very nice description, super clear images. Now let's actually look at their actual bestseller, which is this bra. It's a crossover bra for $69. That is not cheap by any means. And it's a very similar layout as you see. So everyday detail up to actually they put a little bit more juice into this landing page. They did the same competitor comparison. That was kind of hard to say. And yeah, right here you get some of the reviews. Couldn't be happier with this bra. It's incredibly comfortable for the amount of support it provides. So this is one of the genius things about just literally reading reviews. This is one of the SOPs that we run at our agency is like, hey, if we're going to run ads for a brand, we got to explore what customers are saying about it, and we got to use that in the marketing because as you see right here, this person is literally telling us that this is an incredibly comfortable bra, especially for how much support it provides, which means that a lot of bras, if you inverse that, it means that a lot of bras that are comfy, they don't provide enough support. Or if it does provide a lot of support, it's not comfy. But this one does both. So just a little thing right there. And one of the cool things that you can do is just, again, put this into ChatGPT or something and just create a bunch of images with it. Now, let me show you the genius thing. I'm not going to hold this back. I don't want to show you this at the end because a lot of you guys drop off, although I would encourage you to just listen to the whole video. I know I yap a lot, but hey, I try to make it as valuable as possible. But before I show you, actually, I do want to show you the Shopify Accelerator because actually this is where I found this brand. I did not know this brand existed until I saw in our mastermind community we have a daily feed of winning static ads that are super easy to replicate. And they had this just masterpiece of an ad that I saw, which is targeting people who are getting ready for a wedding. And I thought this was so genius because every year people are getting married. There's like 3 million people getting married every year. And, this is so targeted at them. And I'm sure with the way that Meta ads run now, you could just have this active in your campaign and always be capturing this like segment of people that are gonna buy this for weddings. And it's just genius. I thought it was really well done. And then I explored the brand further through these Shopify software tools which is part of our accelerator offer. So if you go to the link in the description, shopify.ai/start, you can apply to join all of this. And I want to show you a couple of trends within the trend, right? So butt lifting shapewear, this one is just continuously rising. This is such a strong trend within the category. And as you see, it's just very consistent, which I love. I love trends like this. Obviously, explosive trends are great, but these are really nice because you just know it's going to continue to grow. And then there's the tummy control shapewear. So this is more specifically targeted at tummy control as opposed to butt lifting. So these are two product categories that you could have within your store that are super, super powerful. And also what's interesting about them is that they both solve insecurities, right? I mean, if we get really deep into the reasoning why this is such a powerful niche, it's because they have an instant result, right? If you put this on, you'll have a better shaped butt, right? Or, a better shaped tummy if that's something that you're insecure about, which a lot of people are. So this does help solve that problem. It gives people their confidence back. And, if you mix in some of these primal desires with some of the things people are saying about your reviews, right, you can really create some unique and effective marketing campaigns. So I strongly encourage all of you guys, if you are serious about building a brand, to go and apply to the Shopify Accelerator. You get so many different things in here, but I'm not going to dive into all of it. Let me show you the genius thing that they're doing. I've never seen anybody, well, actually I have seen people do this before, but no shapewear brands. I've never seen a shapewear brand doing this. And, one of the issues with shapewear is that although you do get a high customer lifetime value because it's a subset of fashion, and fashion does have a high lifetime customer value because people come back and shop for more stuff, right? But the bad part about it is that it's not on a recurring basis, right? Like who knows when someone's going to buy something. And this is where they decided to create something that gives them predictable revenue on a subscription basis, which is a membership offer. Now, I've seen scammy dropshipping stores do this, funny enough. It kind of goes back with my theory. I have a theory that all of the best ideas for marketing unironically come from dropshipping stores. They just don't care about the customer experience, but they have brilliant ways to maximize the revenue that they make from each site visitor, each customer, because they have to, right? I mean, they're not going to get a ton of repeat business, so they have to scam people into buying different things or maximizing revenue. But these guys are doing it legit, and I really love how they're doing it, actually. So they have the Honey Club membership, which unlocks 20% store credit plus free shipping on every order right away, like as soon as you buy this. And it's only $2 a month, but here's the kicker, it's billed annually. And this is only open to US customers, which makes sense because free shipping internationally would be pretty insane. But that's like an insane deal, actually. So if we click this, you can see Honey Club subscription, it's $24. And they do a brilliant job at upselling you on other things while you're buying this, which I think is so genius. So you see right here, they just upsell you on other, things that are 20% off because you're getting this membership. So right away, you're making money. You're actually saving money by buying this. And you're locked into a $24 subscription that's annual. But still, this is just so brilliant because it does two things. First of all, it gives you an annual recurring revenue component to your business, which to an e-commerce business is literally worth gold, because this is, there's no margin attached to this. It doesn't cost anything to deliver this product. So this is literally 100% profit margins. So this very well could be where all of their profit is coming from, right? Maybe this allows them to just pour fuel into scaling efforts and still be super profitable. But what this also does is it keeps people coming back, right? It's just a constant reminder that, you have this membership, you got to put it to use. So just so many brilliant things about it. There's also like content opportunities that you can do with it, community building, so many cool things. And I really like how they do it. The way I've seen the scammy dropshipping stores do it is they charge $29 a month, or even I've seen $50 a month, $49 a month. But this is a very subtle way to do it. $24 a year, that's not going to like jeopardize somebody's finances or anything. It's not high friction, but it does provide a ton of value. So I just thought this was genius and I had to share it with you. So let's actually move into some of their ads now, because this is how they're driving traffic. And I personally love the idea of just keeping things extremely simple. And this is why my agency business at CamiLab.com is such a cool business to me, is because we've developed such simple systems and they work, right? We've scaled brands from 50K a month to 500K a month plenty of times, like literally dozens of times. And it's through just very simple, consistent structures like what I'm about to show you. Always testing new ads. So committing to a ad testing schedule that is where you're not just launching ads based on just like random creativity. Creativity is a component, but also on data. So you have to be half scientist, half artist when it comes to running meta ads. And that pays off tremendously. They do that. They have 900 active ads right now. And again, that's how I actually found out about them, is through some of the brilliant ads that they're running. But if we take a look here, let's dive into some of their older ads here just to see what they were doing here back. These aren't even that old. These are like 2 weeks old, but things move fast in e-commerce, as you may well know. So these are a lot of UGC ads, but they also do launch a lot of statics. And as you see, this is a huge angle for them. You may not be able to see it because it's kind of small, but it says the #1 bridal shapewear for summer weddings. Brilliant. I actually have a wedding to go to, so I might be buying some of this shapewear. I'm just kidding. I'm not buying this, but you get the point, right? A lot of people that see this, a lot of people are having to plan for bridal showers and things of that nature. So this is a really, really nice angle to go after. Let's take a look at this ad right here. So I do think it's really worth it. One thing I want to share with you, this is what our editors mainly do, is just kind of launching mainly 9x16 ads so that they can run on all placements, but keeping your captions within this 4x5 dimension box. If you're a beginner and you're watching my videos, like, I'm really sorry if you really don't understand things, but you can come back to these videos or watch them multiple times, and like as you experience more things in e-com, or just in business in general, because this doesn't just apply to e-com, you'll start understanding some of these things that I'm mentioning. So let's see, my bralettes make my boobs sit weirdly. This is the Cloud Embrace bra. That's a good angle, right? It's kind of an it's just a solution to, this is for people who are very problem aware, right? These people are already buying all kinds of bras, but it's like, hey, these really comfy bras are comfy, but they kind of suck. They don't, they make my boobs sit weird. It's made with their blah, 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 which is super soft and breathable, but still gives you the traditional bra shape. They're made with, okay, these are very fast captions. I just don't have the sound on because I know I'm going to get copyright claimed. Absolutely, still super flexible. Yeah, this is nice. I mean, this is well done. I think they have amazing products, which always helps. And it's probably part of the reason why they raised funding, is to develop incredible products. Let's see what this one's all about. If you haven't tried Honey Love's wire-free bra yet, stop scrolling. That's a good call out. So this is definitely, I'm surprised they're getting away with this kind of stuff. What bra do you recommend for side set boobs? Let's see. If you have a gap and your girls point east and west, So they really know their target demographic, right? They're really appealing to so many I mean, they're just so good at calling out specific avatars. You may have sides, and many bras are made to support them. Weak side support, thin band, no shape. That's why I recommend Honey Love Silhouette Bra. This underwire-free bra has changed my life. Okay, did I mention that I hate underwire bras? Yeah, these are really well done. It has enough support where I feel supported, but it's not digging into me. This one has the molded cups. You see this detail here on the side. This is very well done. Now, one thing they're also doing incredibly well is their social media. I mean, they're not getting crazy engagement, but it just looks so clean. And this is how I think most brands that try to grow with meta ads should approach their social media. Like, make sure it looks clean. You don't have to, make sure that it's getting the craziest engagement ever, but just make sure that it looks very well put together and that it looks like a legitimate brand, which they're doing. And they have over 400,000 followers, largely due to the fact that they run a lot of ads, which is one of the cool things about running ads on Meta specifically, is that it grows your following and gets you customers and brand awareness all at the same time. By the way, I do want to mention at akemilab.com, we do run Google and TikTok as well. Some people ask me, do you only run meta ads because you only talk about meta ads? No, we actually do really well with Google and we do really well with TikTok as well. But meta is just the most scalable channel and the one that most brands grow the most with. So it's the one that we tend to focus on the most, but we do all those channels. So, maybe if you have already a good meta ad stack, but you haven't set up Google, make sure you reach out to us so we can set this up for you as soon as possible, because you're probably leaving a lot of money on the table. And that's pretty much it for this brand, though. I mean, there's a lot more that we could cover, but I think we covered all the basics. It's a huge market. It's a huge brand. It's a huge market with a ton of potential, so many different trends within it that you could capitalize on, and a high returning customer rate. And then also we learned about just such a brilliant thing here when it comes to memberships and community building. This is such a nice product to add to their collection. Now, that's pretty much it. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.